You know what, guys? In a nice way, y'all. We don't give a shit.
Good evening, and welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, waiting on my guests and co-hosts to come in. But if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody in here. Thank you for joining us tonight. How we doing? Let's see. Kyle Dupuis, Sooner Legend Podcast. Stevie G, Benji, Goated, Drew. Drew in here talking gas way early. Thought he had it going. Coach should be in here shortly, I believe. I think anyway. I've got him headed in. Let's see. I'm gonna try one more thing. If the other one isn't working, guys, I'm gonna send you this one. All right. Yeah, just okay, Coach. So tap that add to the broadcast. Let's see what we got here. Where's the coach at? There he is. Coach, you there? Oh, well, I don't know what's going on here, man. Seems like, no, I don't have either one of y'all in here. All right. Guys, I sent. Oh, crap. Bear with us for just a second, fellas. Sorry about this. Oh, shit. The coach. All right. Try that one, Coach. Sorry about that, fellas. Hope everybody's good to go. Let's see what we got. I was 4 points off. OSU and 5 off Notre Dame. Notre Dame did put up a hell of a fight. I'll tell you something. Here's where we're going to go with this, and I just want to say this to start off with. You know, when all was said and done, it was really for all the amazing talent that you have on that Ohio State football team, and what a night it was. Congratulations to the Buckeyes on a big win, because this is a Notre Dame team that just didn't go away, but honestly, they dominated for the better part of this football game, made some mistakes that you didn't need to make if you're in Ohio State. But I got to say, in the end, it's the blue blood Buckeyes had all the talent with 5-star players, but it was a transfer from Kansas State and a kicker that fell in love with football because of his sister who played soccer that delivered this one in the end for Ohio State. Period, plain and simple. And, valiant effort by coaches Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but you could tell that the moment was a little big for them, it seemed like, in this one. It just seemed a little big. Coach, are you in here yet? Damn. I'll send you guys all this stuff. I don't know what's going on here, man. Well, Big 12 Mafia. Hey, what's up there, man? I will actually I will send you in there. I'll send you a link right now if you want to hop on your phone even. Bomber. Just 1 second. All right, here we go. It's not letting you in. Here, I'm just gonna send you the regular link also, man. I guess. I don't know what else to do at this point. I don't know what's happening with the guest links, but I just sent you the regular link, coach. The regular guest link. Hopefully it'll work. Talking college football with J Kitchen. Look at this dude. Welcome into the show, my guy. Can you hear me?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey man, it's good to see you. What a football game. We're waiting to see if the coach is going to pop in here. He should be in any time. I think Bomber might pop in as well with us for just a second. But hey, talk to me about this game. You know, Notre Dame put up a hell of a fight, but they just put themselves into a situation that it just seemed like, honestly, you needed them to really do some different things, you know, show up a little earlier and not make the mistakes that they did, it seemed like, really.
Yeah, I think early on, when you watch the football game, you're like, man, could this be a blowout, anything like that? It was hard to watch. But I think when you're overall when the game went on, I mean, you look at the fourth quarter, they started coming back. I didn't understand the field goal attempt by Freeman. In the fourth quarter, you went for it already. You already made it. You were clearly moving the football at will. To be honest with you, I thought they were actually going to get to the point where they were actually going to make it a one possession game at that point, and they go to kick a field goal, and it just completely falls apart there. And they still stayed in the football game. They still fought hard. In my opinion, I think Marcus Freeman's a damn good football coach, and he showed it throughout the year. And I think strategically, you watch it, he made some rookie mistakes, and I think he's a coach that where he's truly going to grow. I mean, I think you look at a guy like this right now, and you're going, damn, Notre Dame really has their football coach, and I think they got a guy they can believe in, and who's going to really just tear it up.
I agree, Coach. I know this is it's like getting kicked in the nuts, I'm sure. The way that they came back, it just seemed like they put themselves in too big a hole, and it kind of seemed like the moment early on may have been a little bit, but they got off the mat a couple of times. It's like we talked about that they've been doing throughout the year, that when it seemed like every time you put them in a situation that seemed untenable, they were right back in it. They were right. I mean, it took basically, as I said in the intro, it took a Kansas State transfer and a kicker that, he'd missed some key kicks in the Michigan game. It took those guys to hold off that valiant comeback. What do you think about the game?
Yeah, obviously disappointing. Are you getting feedback?
No?
Yeah, it's echoing for me too, for both of us, Coach.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I am a little bit. I guess you may be open somewhere, Coach.
Oh, I'm not open anywhere.
Same here, because I can tell because in the comment section they're saying that my thing's echoing too.
Okay. Do you have an extra window open there? Maybe one of your windows.
No, I don't have any windows open.
Same here. I don't have anything open either.
Let me check that. Let me check. It may be on my end. Let me see. Cancellation. See if that works. Let me try something real quick. Damn it. I'm way behind on everything. All right, let's see what that does now. Am I doing it, or is it just these guys? Am I echoing as well? Okay. I'm trying to unmute you guys, see what it does.
Can you hear us now?
How's that sound? I didn't hear an echo that time.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo either. I think
we're good.
Mine still may be muted.
No, you're still there. I hear you.
No, I can hear you, buddy.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't hear any echo now either.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're supposed to have,
Jason, going back to your question, yeah, it was definitely a tough loss. We got beat by a better football team tonight. I like JJ said, I think Marcus has come a long ways as a head coach, but I think the stage was a little big for him tonight. I think we made some mistakes. The field goal, I didn't understand that. The fake punt was another one that hell, just line up and run the fucking ball, or
Yeah.
that people had seen enough of your fakes all year long. Okay, so
right.
we knew they were going for it. I mean, they had to go for it. So that, and the other thing, guys, and y'all help me with this. Why in the hell do we not feed Love the football?
I don't get it. That was something that was very concerning to me too. You watch the beginning drive. Obviously, Riley Leonard had a lot of touches. I think it was 9 touches
Sure.
on the first drive. But when you have Love, who they said is 100%, how is he not getting the ball? I think his explosiveness, but more importantly, when you watched him in the last game against Penn State, where it took
Yeah,
4 or 5 guys to get him down. I mean, he's clearly hungry for the football. Give him the ball.
and
Sometimes,
hurdling guys
yeah.
again.
It's almost
Yeah.
like, and again, I talk about it all year long. And it's not just Notre Dame. It's not just Ohio State. It's every university at this point
Yeah,
sometimes.
coach yourself.
Yeah, they outthink themselves and they think about something crazy or just mystical to where they can try to fool somebody. Sometimes, you know what, you're damn good the way you are. You got here. Here's how you got here. Don't do anything crazy. Don't think of doing anything obscene. And again, I just, there was just a couple instances where you just looked at it and you said, man, what the hell are they doing? And then the fourth quarter happens. It's a ball game. You're playing lights out. Your defense, Al Golden's defense, is playing lights out. You're dominating the line of scrimmage. And just bad mistakes, but coaching mistakes. But then again, he's a young football coach. He's going to be a guy. Notre Dame will be back here. I mean, I'm not concerned at all. And if you really look at overall back and forth between these two football teams, one spent $20 million. I know Notre Dame didn't. Notre Dame was a damn good football team. Also, too, their special teams. Besides that missed field goal, look at the special teams and how they were coached. I thought they were damn good. I thought they were good from top to bottom.
I agree. But that really puzzled me, not giving Love the football. The other thing that puzzled me is I watched the defense quite a bit, just watching the secondary. We've been a man coverage football team all year. And I don't give a shit who the receivers were. We know
Coach
they
May
had
froze.
great receivers. But at the end of the day,
Yep.
Why did we get away from man? I mean, we could have run if we wanted to run some zone with it. We could have run some man free and some 2-man to help cover the wideouts to give some help. And we just I don't know. We got away from what I think we did best all season on defense, and we got away from it on offense.
I agree. And you're looking at it here, obviously the stats, I just pulled them up. Jeremiah Love, 4 carries for 3 yards. Jadarian Price, 3 carries for 13 yards. Riley Leonard had 17 carries for 40 yards. But, again, Leonard still had a good night. He was 22 of 31 for 255 and 2 tutties, no interceptions. I just think overall, which like what you said, Coach, what got you there? Sometimes you're trying to change things up, give a different look. That's fine. But don't abandon what got you there. You beat some damn good football teams to get to the national title game. I just think that they tried to, out-cute themselves. You know what I mean?
I think so too.
And it's but guess what? At the end of the day, look across the board. At halftime, it's 21-7. You're looking at it like, hey, where's this game going to? It was 10-8. Ohio State outscored them 10-8 in the third.
Yep.
But then in the fourth quarter, it was 8-3, man, and you were just in the game the entire time, especially in the second half. I mean,
JJ, if we make the damn field goal, then we're only down 5. It's not even an 8-point game. It's 5 points.
But even then, I didn't even understand why he did that, because you already went for it on 4th down once and you made it. You were only 2 yards away. I would have at that point. You've got 4 minutes left in the ball game. I'm going for it on 4th down. You're controlling the line of scrimmage. Go down the football field. Make it a 1-possession game, because if you hit that field goal, it's still 2 possessions. So you're kind of you're taking time off the clock. You're not going for a touchdown where it's still a 2-possession game. You're dominating the line of scrimmage. Keep doing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No doubt.
I agree.
Real quick, I want to welcome into the show Nathan Bomber Brown from the Big 12 Mafia, the College Football Mafia. He's got a couple of different shows. Hey, man, it's good to see you, my guy.
It's good to see you too. First, I want to say hi to JJ. It's been a minute.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Last off season was a little contentious with the Big 12 and the ACC, but we're both in the same boat now. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to pull against the other two. So we'll go there later.
Steven
I just wanted to say hi though.
Hey, good to see my guy Neilio. Thank you for the super chat. Your Irish play tough tonight, coach. It's just that one-on-one talent in the OSU wide receiver unit. They are a load. Yeah, and I think it's like you said, coach, and it's what I was saying to open the whole thing up. These guys really, it looked like at halftime, even Marcus himself was shook. You know what I mean? He was shooken, and it looked like he just didn't really have an answer. He's like, we got to do this, but you could tell he wasn't as poised as we've seen him in the past whenever they got into a situation, right? I don't want to blame it all on that, but I think the biggest thing is that, guys, there's just a lot of damn talent on that Ohio State football team, right? Bomber, what did you think about the game overall?
First of all, congratulations, coach. Getting a national championship game, you bet. That was fantastic. I was rooting for you. I was kind of bipolar. I've always liked Ohio State, but, man, Notre Dame came to play. I was actually impressed that Notre Dame came back in the second half. JJ said earlier I don't know why they didn't go to the running back more. Even when you're down 14, you're controlled the whole first quarter, 9 minutes. Now, Riley Leonard cannot run the ball every down. There's no way that was sustainable, so they had to but they were throwing to tight ends in the second half. Where was that offense, coach, in the first half that we saw in the fourth quarter?
Well, as we were talking about a second ago, you said, first thing you said about Love, they should have run him more. They should have just fucking run him.
Yeah.
He had 3 touches.
Yeah,
the whole fucking game.
Right there.
And how do you have a back like that and not give him the ball? But where was that offense in the first half? The thing is, guys, we've not been a good offensive team all year long. I mean, we've been a decent offensive football team during the season, but we've not been just bursting at the seams and scoring tons of points. I mean, and let's go ahead and look back. Our schedule had something to be desired. We didn't exactly play a great schedule, and I think that obviously affected us tonight too. But again, the offense that they came out and finally starting to put together some throws to Greathouse.
Yep.
Greathouse played a great football game for us, but we just it was the Riley Leonard show. And I don't misunderstand, guys. I'm a Riley Leonard fan through and through, or Leonard Riley. I can't think of the fucking name now. Right. Yeah, I'm just so pissed off right now. But I don't understand that. Did they think that was going to be sustainable through 4 quarters of him running the football? And the answer to that is obvious: no.
Yeah.
I don't know, just very frustrated. And I mean, he's a great back, but Jadarian Price is a pretty good damn running back too. And he didn't get many touches either. So I don't know. I think, as JJ said a second ago, and Jason, I think we tried to get cute.
Yeah.
I think we tried to, in our minds, we thought we were going to do something different so that what they had seen on the scouting stuff. They were going to break all those tendencies and do something different. And we beat our own ass, is what we did, in my opinion. And I don't talk about I don't ever like to talk about coaches because I've been there. I've been in that hot seat, and that some bitch gets pretty hot. But I have to say, I'm really struggling with our coaches after the ball game tonight because that's not the Notre Dame football team that I've seen offensively and defensively throughout the season.
Do you feel like it was a game plan from the start problem?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the game plan had to be control the clock, right? That was the whole first
Sure.
drive, is to shorten the game, make it a 22-19 type score, a one-score game, and then win it at the end. That had to be the strategy. There's no way they were going to outscore Ohio State. No way.
Well, here's what I would say to that, and I think that's a great point, that was the only way you were going to win. You're not going to go into a track meet with these guys.
That's
we
right.
talked about this over the last week, but I would say that also you got to also say that first drive, they had. I mean, I go back and look at what it was here. It was 19 plays, guys.
It's crazy.
19 play drive. You had 9 runs by Riley Leonard, and you right before the touchdown run, he looked like he was about to lose his cookies.
Well, yeah, right. That last play at the goal line, he looked like he was dead.
For him to punch it in, I mean, that was great for them, but they needed to go and make a stop. And when Ohio State marches right down the field and gets a touchdown like that and then gets a stop, now the momentum is completely shifted and you're in defensive mode. And they didn't deal with that part well more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you another thing, when number 4 for the Buckeyes scores that first touchdown,
Jeremiah Smith,
you got the damn DB jumping up and down, pointing at him because of the coverage. He was having to go away from it because we obviously were not in man-to-man coverage.
In zone, yeah.
We were in a zone, and he's telling them, here he is, but yet, and this is just me, I don't leave his ass knowing that. I'm going to stay there, and you know what? I may have fucked up my assignment, but I'm going to stay there and not let that happen. 2 plays he killed us on, that one, and then the last play, the last catch he had of the game down there. Son of a bitch. We just did not play our kind of football, and that's what's disappointing to me. And they have better athletes. Absolutely, they had better athletes. But that doesn't mean, and guys, I've coached enough ball games to know I've gone against a lot of teams that had better athletes and still beat their ass.
Right.
And it's about, you dance with the one that brung you. And if you get your ass kicked then so be it.
You live with it.
But at least you do what you do and you do it well. And then if they beat your ass, that you're good. But I'm just very unhappy with not playing Notre Dame football today,
Coach,
and getting beat.
Yeah, and Coach, to your point, you looked at the first Jeremiah Smith touchdown pass. I mean, they were playing zone. They were playing a cover 2 up top. Basically, what he does, he doesn't stay to Jeremiah's side. He shifts towards the middle of the field. It's one-on-one, and basically the corner, instead of continuing to go with him, seeing, hey, the safety over top didn't stay with him on his side. He went towards the middle of the field. He let him go. At the end of the day, though, if you see your guy leave his man, you already know, hey, over the top, I have help. But if he's going to the middle of the field, I got to go with him. Because guess what? In the flat, my outside linebacker has the flat, so I don't need to be there anymore. So automatically you move to the middle of the field. He didn't do it. Then the last play of the game, they go, man, it's one-on-one, and then they had nobody else over the top. That's exactly what you can lose the game, and then there's nobody there. So at the end of the day, I thought the defense really tightened up in the second half, but it just Denbrock, man, he's a damn good football coach, but I just think it's one of those games where just every coordinator has that game where they get a little bit too cute and they go besides it. And we talked about it here, man. You look at Riley Leonard had the most touches in the game, but Jadarian Price only had 3 carries for 13 yards. Jeremiah Love, 4 4 carries for 3 yards. What got you, like what you said, Coach, what got you there is not what you provided in this football game. And you wanted to take care of the clock. You wanted to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage. You got more of that in the second half. You were able to get back in the football game, create opportunities. But I think those slight differences in the football game, we talk about inches. It's a game of inches. And right now in that second half, you just saw it just start to slip away a little bit because of just bad decisions. And you talk about that game plan going in. Heck, Riley Leonard goes in for that touchdown, runs to the sideline and pukes. I mean, that's how much energy that guy was pushing out.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, you got to know which side you're going to, and you had to adjust.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way you were going to keep up that pace, right? There's just no way.
Right. Well, and I want to respond to Neilio's comment here. If that OSU running back doesn't fumble the football, if I mean, Notre Dame could say if too, but he did fumble it, so it's not a route, and Notre Dame has caused more turnovers this season than almost any football team in the country. May be leading the turnover game, but at the end of the day, we can say if about a lot of shit. Hell, if we had gone for it on fourth down and not kicked the damn field goal that we missed.
Yeah.
If I mean, there's a lot of ifs, guys, and I just hate to listen to shit when people say if this, if that. I mean, hell, the game was the game. We saw what happened and we got our ass kicked. But at the end of the day, it's not because of ifs.
The fake punt was a terrible decision. Just line up and go for it. You need 2 yards. You're much better off just going for it.
Well, another thing. You know what? We've done that all year long. It's not like they didn't know we were going to go.
Anybody also, too, I will say he should have caught it. It was good. I mean, at the end of the day.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. He should have caught it. I mean, that was a good play call overall. I mean, at the end of the day, he should have caught that football. But
he should have caught the football.
If you wanted to line up again, we talk about how they were controlling the line of scrimmage in the second half. Would you rather have your special teams unit on the field?
Right.
Or would you rather have your starting offense on the field where you can really mix and match? You have Love out there. You've got Riley Leonard out there. You could stretch them out wide, especially too if you wanted to run the football up the middle, spread them out wide, put them towards the sidelines, create an offset to where you're pushing everybody out, you're spacing it out, you create a lane. At the end of the day, should have caught that ball, but it's the minor, minute stuff that you just look at in the game and you just go, Coach, to your point, we could sit here and say if. At the end of the day, I think Notre Dame was the best team to face Ohio State. Because you look at Georgia, I think Georgia was really soft up front. They're not the traditional Georgia team that they've been, and really Notre Dame knocked them around quite a bit. I think Penn State, when you look at their offense, they were able to run the football, but besides that, they can't throw. In their last game, they didn't have 1 reception or 1 yard to their wide receivers. That's absolutely embarrassing in the college football playoff. Notre Dame was the best team. At the end of the day, it comes down to game plan. They try to get cute. They try to change things up and catch them off guard, and it just didn't work out. But at the end of the day, it was still a close game when it came down there in the fourth quarter. They fought back into it. And that's what you want to see. It's a Marcus Freeman football team. And also,
and that's what I was proud of, JJ. We fought back into it.
And also, too, you're in the college football playoff, Coach. I got news for you. You're not in the conference. All that money goes to you.
Yeah, you just made $20 million. Yeah.
At the end of the day, Notre Dame's going to be just fine. I think Marcus Freeman's a damn good coach. They always say the second time around when you go through it, you've been through it before, it comes with experience. He's going to be just fine. I think that this was a great thing for Notre Dame. I think they're going to be competitive going forward. I think they're in great hands with Marcus. They certainly signed a long-term deal with him. He's not going anywhere. At the end of the day, it's a learning experience. At the end, just what you have to be happy about is they made it close. It was starting to get to that barn burner, but at the end of the day, they made it close. So I think it's a success.
So, Coach, at the end of the day, the last championship was 1988.
Yep.
You look back, and the last 36 years have been painful for Notre Dame fans because you've had so many that get to the end and then have flamed out. Of all of these, in the last 34 years, 36 now, is this the one that you can really point to and say, now we're back? Just like JJ was saying, we take the next step. The team comes back, we replace the quarterback, and we're competing against the next year.
I believe so. I think we'll continue to be competitive. I think Marcus is the right guy at Notre Dame. I think that our recruiting has improved.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, guys.
Well, what was that? An
I
$18
don't
million,
want.
$18 million, something like that, NIL fund or whatever, 20 million.
And I tell you what, number one, I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm using it as an example of recruiting. But you guys know that we were playing with our fourth string defensive end. We were playing with
Right. Injury.
13 tackles. I mean,
Right.
we were, we lost our All-American corner. I
Mhm.
mean, but that shit happens. But I'm not crying about that. I'm just saying
It's a fact.
that
It's a fact, Coach. You're right.
the recruiting and the depth we've got on our team now that we haven't had in the past is now there, and they've continued to improve and recruit better. So I do. I think we're in for some more good runs as we move on. And I do want to say that I'm scanning the chats, and a lot of you guys are chuckles. Poking fun at the Irish. But I'm going to tell you what, you have time to poke at the Irish because you son of a bitches were sitting home
Right.
watching
right.
Notre Dame, and your team had their thumb up their ass
Right.
watching the game too on TV. So fuck y'all.
Yeah.
How did I
know
know
why.
this shit was coming, man?
I don't know why
know this
people
shit
would
was
even
coming?
do that. That's just stupid.
I can tell you this, Coach. When we're getting into this new era of and athletic directors that I've talked to, associate athletic directors that I know around the country between all four power conferences. You look at the revenue stream and obviously revenue sharing. And the majority of people, when we go through Congress and whatnot, I can guarantee you, everyone's going to be on the same playing field, and NIL will go through a much harder process of anything outside of the revenue sharing. Okay, each team will go to the brink for revenue sharing because they understand the value that it brings to the university and what it means for money wise. I think overall, when you look at Marcus Freeman, you have to talk about the culture, and I think when it starts from within. I personally, Heinisch, I know personally a number of different guys that are on that team, and they've told me about the culture that's there, and he has reestablished it. Brian Kelly left there, and he talked about how he couldn't win a national championship at Notre Dame. Now he's destroying LSU. So I think Marcus Freeman proved that you can truly win big at Notre Dame, and I think this was the first process. You had to get in the game. You got to show recruits, hey, here's what we
Notre
can do.
Dame went and beat Georgia. Notre Dame beat Penn State. They weren't supposed to do either one of those things, and they had the toughest road to get there.
Yeah. And I think that
and I tell you what, we caught you guys know this. You guys know this too. We caught a red hot Ohio State football team.
Sure.
They raced through this.
We talked about
playoff.
This, I got to give this to Chris because this is what we talked about was the key to the win, though, was that you were going to have to get to Will Howard. You were going to have to get in there, pressure him, and they didn't do it. He completed 15 passes to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't have it. You just can't have it.
No.
And that's one of the things that you've been able to rely on your defense. And at times you were able to tonight. They made some key plays at the right times. But truthfully, it was amazing to me that he didn't get pressured really at all early on in the game. He just didn't.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And that's one of the things I said the other night as well. We had to get some pressure on him because, the teams that did get pressure on him, he pissed down his leg. And we didn't get – he never had pressure on him all night long.
Do it at K-State, Coach. Whenever and every quarterback when they're under pressure is not as good as when they're not. That's just a fact. But we've seen Will Howard
did not get any pressure on him.
Games. Right. Yeah, we've seen him.
Hey, Jason?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done. I apologize.
No, I was thinking about that game and they had in the obviously the New Year's Six Bowl against Alabama a couple of years ago, and they got throttled the same way, and he looked like a deer in the headlights. He didn't get moved enough today to where we could see that old Will Howard. He still made a couple of mistakes at the end. It's one of those games where you feel like it was never really – man, I started thinking, well, maybe I guess they're going to get back in it. I'll tell you this, that's the one thing I was saying about Notre Dame, and I've been saying this about Notre Dame, is that they're a no-quit team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a no-quit football team.
That's culture.
It is culture. And that's what we talked about this. I did a video about it a couple of weeks ago talking about there's a difference between coaches that don't have any, that they don't take any responsibility for it. It's always an excuse. It's, your Lincoln Riley's, your Brian Kelly's. I was talking the difference in the guys that are on the sidelines at Notre Dame right now. One doesn't make excuses about shopping in whatever aisle. They just went out there and continued fighting. And they had injury after injury after injury too. There's no way you're supposed to stand toe-to-toe with this Ohio State team with that many guys out.
Yeah. And then that talks about the coach's point. You look at overall the recruiting that Notre Dame has improved, and I think dramatically. When I talk to anybody that has played Notre Dame, that is on Notre Dame, you talk about the overall recruiting has improved because look at the depth they had. You look back 3, 4, 5 years ago under Brian Kelly, I got news for you. They're not in that football game because the depth isn't there. The depth is there now. When you're playing true freshman cornerbacks and they're playing at a high level like they are, it's damn good recruiting. It's also, too, damn good coaching. And I think behind the scenes, whether Al Golden stays there or not, I think there's a lot of hype between, an NFL job that he's currently looking at. I'm not going to throw out there who it is, but, I know he's very much intertwined with it. At the end of the day, though, you look at Notre Dame right now, they'll go out and get someone else that'll be just as good. But overall, it's the right coaches. Marcus brought in the right coaches. And I've said this for numerous times, and people don't want to listen to this stuff. Everyone's all about, recruiting. If it was all about recruiting and all about the player rankings and 247 and rivals, it would be Alabama or Georgia every single year. Coaching matters. It matters who you have in that building. If you're not developing players, you're not going to be successful. It's that simple. And you're developing talent the way that Notre Dame does, the way that Ohio State does, especially too after that loss to Michigan. It was easy for them to fold. But you look overall around college football, the teams that are developing talent are the ones that go farther. It's that simple. And especially, too, when you have culture. It's a proven fact. You can't beat it. And also, too, I've always said when you develop up front, your offensive line and your defensive line, that will really tell you how responsive, but more importantly, how successful you're going to be in college football when you have the right quarterback as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to get Marcus in the room so you guys continue on with the conversation. But
I was just going to ask a question.
Go for it, please.
The election is over. We have a new president. That happened today. The NFL playoffs are big, drew big numbers over the weekend. People are what's the number going to be of the people watch this game tonight?
Horrible.
Because there wasn't a lot of buzz. In a normal year, this game would have drawn 30 million. I don't know. Yeah, it might be 10, 12?
From my understanding, it's going to change next year. And I've said this for a long time. I don't know why it's at a 7:30, 8 o'clock kickoff on a Monday night. I don't know why that is. I don't care. I don't personally, and I'm just be really honest because, again, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck if the NFL plays on a Saturday or not. Put my fucking college football game on a Saturday. We own Saturday. Saturday belongs to us. Don't play this fucking game. We're going to play our wild card divisional game. Who gives a shit? Put my game on at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. We run that's what college football is. And guess what? If you put up the NFL versus college football on a Saturday night, you can bet your ass people are going to watch college football because of what it is, the purity of it. So I don't want to hear we got to play on a Monday night. Play the game on a Saturday night. You're supposed to. And from what my understanding is, from talking to athletic directors
like this, they've got it set up. Don't get it twisted. I've been saying this. Don't get it twisted, thinking they're looking for fairness because they're not. So to me, I'm looking at. There's no way with those two blue blood programs. And, as big as football is in the Midwest, that wasn't going to be huge.
Yeah. At the end of the day, a Saturday belongs to college football. And people are going to come in droves. Especially, too, right now where every conference has a chance. Power 4, Power 5, it don't matter. Right now, Saturdays belong to that. And I think that more people would watch the game, especially too tonight. I had a lot of friends that I talked to that already went to bed at halftime. So like, hey, Jay, I got work tomorrow. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, Saturday should be college football. And guess what? Also, too, I've got a huge gripe about college football playing on Fridays. Fridays belong to high school football. Quit playing college football on fucking Fridays. Play it on Thursdays. You can play it on Thursdays, Saturdays, and if you had to, maybe Monday night during the season. I get it. But guess what? The national championship game should be played on a Saturday, middle of the afternoon. Play the damn game. It's that simple. And I don't care what goes on. That's why I think the NFL made that statement today about saying, hey, we're going to work with the college football playoff, because they're like, hey, you're messing with our ratings now. And now ESPN's getting involved. So at the end of the day, it'll be Saturday next year and going forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, great football game, though. I mean, really, this has been a hell of a season, really, overall. And I wanted to just kind of go through some of that, too, as well. I mean, we can talk about this game and just continue with it. But I'm
going through DTs already, Jason.
Right now, though, I think it is like that forever. But
the minute the game ended, I was going into full withdrawals. Dude, I cannot stand this for now 8 months.
That's the same thing we're all feeling. Here we are at Oklahoma, waiting for the answer on a guy, on one of these coordinators in this game, you know, and hoping that comes through. But in the end, this was a hell of a season, man. This was a hell of a season to watch. You saw it go down. The games that we didn't think were going to matter later on because, everybody's going to have it sold up. It wasn't sold up. It wasn't sold up. Now, I can tell you that I hated the way that they seeded it. I can tell you that I didn't think that some of the teams belonged in the program in there. But I would also tell you this: it was from the start of the season to the end of the season. You got
a massive success.
A massive success. I really think you did. And even if you don't feel like, and I'll be the honest one here. I'm gonna say it. I don't feel like right now the Big 12 and the ACC are going to be able to continue competing as the money jumps. When the rev share money jumps in there, because they're going to, they're cutting it at that 20.5, but we're finding out now the NIL and the portal, even the portal doesn't mean anything. We had a guy from Wisconsin goes in just.
I think you're going to be surprised. I think there's 14. If you put a
$40 million or $40 million difference, I'm not going to be that surprised in 4 years.
So let's talk about the 20.5. Let's assume all our schools are going to fund 100%. Okay.
Sure.
So now you've already got 20.5 that you can put to you, and probably 75% of that's going to football. So now the third-party NIL can basically take their money and just do what they do. Now you're double funding. So, it's true. Ohio State
that's where the
did
difference
20,
is,
they're going to go to 40.
But
But
where the difference is.
No, what I'm saying is, they're going to jump to 40. They're going to double. I'm going to assume they're going to pay the same 20. The school's going to pay 20.
The reason I'm asking is they went out. This was another example, though, of spending the most money, and it worked this time.
I know. All I'm saying is,
and they're going to always have the most money to spend at places like Ohio State and places throughout.
I don't think anybody denies that. But I can tell you this: BYU's going to put about $15 million in NIL third party in its program.
That would have put you not in the top 5 this year.
Yeah, it would have been. Sure, it would have.
No, it wouldn't have.
15 million. The top this year was 21 or something.
22, 20, 20.
Okay,
20.
so 15. What is that?
15 wasn't there. There was 2 at 18 or 19. There was a lot of them that were paying up big money. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that if you're already behind, and I'm not saying that I'm not.
That's a bit egalitarian, I think. Not egalitarian.
No,
That's
not
a
about
bit
ego.
to say, Jason.
Man, listen, this is not an ego thing. I'm not saying that I love this about college football. I'm telling you that what we're looking at is a situation where, are you just going to go buy the whole thing? And now we just find out the last few days that there's nothing you can do about where a player wants to go. The portal might as well not even exist, because a kid can leave whenever he's already signed, even if I don't care if it's a part of a contract or a template for a contract or whatever.
Right.
There is no rules right now. And they're not. And until you get rules, how are you gonna keep up like that?
I'm just saying, though, in terms of I understand what you're saying, Jason, but there are rules coming. The administration that's going in now, there are going to be rules. But also, too, I understand that it worked this year. But if we look behind the scenes, Ohio State's been spending this kind of money. Let's be real. They've been spending this money for a long time, and they've blown this shit a number of times.
My first rodeo. I get it.
Well, look at Oregon. Oregon didn't buy anything.
Yeah, Oregon is up and up.
Money isn't the only thing.
Oregon ran into the same team that Notre Dame ran in tonight too.
I don't think that's the reason they lost. I think their culture is weak.
I will say this. I think that one, like they said in Congress, where the NIL deals will have to go through an actual NIL deal and whatnot, regardless, I know what's going on, especially too in behind closed doors with NIL right now. It's out of control right now. But when it goes through the guardrails of revenue sharing, the $20.5 million, they still have to pass the crazy shit with Title IX. What's going on right now? You can't even use 75% of your funds for that. You'll still have NIL on the other side of it. But at the end of the day, guys, you can spend as much money as you want. If it was truly about,
no doubt about it.
Because guess what? Penn State should be winning the game and a national title every year. But what happens? They have bad coaching. There's the human element. People forget about the human element that goes into these games, the coaching that goes into these games, the game plans that go into these games. I think overall, if it's funny, is my buddy coaches down at Clemson. That was a complete wake up call this year.
How do you keep up though? How do you keep up? Oh, no, it's not about 1 year. It's not about 2 years even. What are you going to do 5 years down the line when you've made that much less and they can continue overspending on? Look at SMU. They didn't get a dime in the ACC, and they were able. Now, I don't think that they were the best team to be in there, but that's neither here nor there. They got themselves into the conference championship game in 1 year, coming from the AAC.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, too, they had 60 transfers. I mean, they paid. At the end of the day, they raised money.
I mean, they had to put their money up, did they not?
Yeah,
exactly.
But at the end of the day, though, if we're talking about money, SMU has the most money of any school. Let's be realistic about that. They've got over 100. They've raised $100 million in 5 hours. You think that they don't have enough money for NIL?
Texas A&M and SMU.
At the end of the day, you can look at money back and forth. I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to, especially too, what are you willing to do to put those guys together? Because I've looked at a lot of these cultures around the country. It ain't worth a shit. Some of these teams, you can get as much talent as you want. You can get as many 5 stars as you want. If that was the case, and Jimbo Fisher should have won a lot more than what he did. I think I understand money's a major factor, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think that people are really underestimating who's running the ship. Eventually, if you're all on the ship, but if the shipmen are running the ship, it's not going to go in the right direction. I'm just telling you, a lot of coaching gets involved with this stuff. And I think that overall, Ohio State losing to Michigan helped them. If they beat Michigan, I don't think Ohio State wins today. I really don't. I don't even think Ohio State's even there. And I'm just being honest with you. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes that say, hey, what really turns the season around? And I agree with you to your point that saying is, hey, look at the overall discrepancy between TV deals. I agree. I mean, hell, I released a video recently talking about private equity CNBC. I was literally at work, and they sent me the CNBC article. The SEC's at 13.2, Big Ten's at 13.1, the ACC's at 10 billion, and then the Big 12 is at 6.7 billion. Those evaluations are based off of the actual talent, but more importantly, the actual value of the universities. I mean, it goes across the board. But I think that money's a major factor, but you got to coach that talent. You can't just get players and think you're going to win. It would be like in Major League Baseball with the Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan. We should win it every year. But guess what? We don't, because the coaching it just absolutely sucks every year. It has to be both. It can't just be one.
But I understand what you're saying. We're not talking about professional sports though right now. I mean, we kind of are.
We basically are though.
But listen, there's still going to be. I'm just saying, and I'm not even saying that this is a good thing or a bad thing. What I'm telling you is I'm asking the question: how do you continue to keep up like that if it's year over year? Do you think you're going to end up having to go to private equity? Something I know that you've been not.
Yeah, I'm not for it. Yeah,
a fan of. I know you're not. You haven't been a fan of that. So that's the question I'm asking. How do you keep up if you're in one of the smaller two of the Power Four? I'm asking you, how do you keep up like that?
It's going to have to be through fundraising. And look, you'll never reach the SEC and the Big Ten, but your job comes down to one, developing talent that's on your roster, but also two, through fundraising. SMU's done it. Obviously, every university
has
to do it. Yeah, we can hear you. But across the board, you have to be able to fundraise to get to that point. And again, like to your point, yeah, I'm completely against private equity. I'm in that world. I'm telling you right now, it's ruthless, and you got to pay up, even if it's a bad year. But at the end of the day, you have to work with your donors that annually put up $10-20 million to the year. Especially too right now, what we're doing at Pitt. The guys that put up $10 million a year, $20 million a year, you're asking them to do a little bit more. There's a little bit of pushback, obviously, but they're still working with it. But at the end of the day, you got to be in it. And you have to win those ball games. And also, too, when you're in the college football playoff, you got to win those games, and the money goes directly to you. Like, I mean, Clemson, for instance, they got that money directly. So did SMU. And to your point, I thought SMU was a damn good football team, but Miami should have been in it. That's just my opinion. I thought with Cam Ward and everybody in there, I thought Miami should have been in it. But at the end of the day, it's not a perfect process. But I think you look at it, like you said, Jason, this year, college football was a true success. You saw absolute thrillers across the board, and regardless of the money aspect of it, you saw some damn good football across the board.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hey, Marcus, scoot to your left.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Shoot to your left just to shade, and you can tell us everything. We ain't gonna see your face at all. Scoot to your left a little bit.
To your right, yeah.
No, I think
there you go.
There you go. Yep, there you go. We got you in there
now.
All right. What's up, Marcus?
All right.
Marcus Dent from the Gridiron Insight, man. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. We've been talking about this all.
It's all good, brother.
Talk to me about what you saw in the game tonight.
Man, I think Notre Dame came out with a really good game plan, man. Went straight down the teeth of that defense. Something that a lot of schools hadn't been able to do, Saw him get on the outside, make a couple plays with his legs. But, man, for the foremost, man, they did what they wanted to do. They wanted to run the football, and they ran the football. They wanted to stop Ohio State, but they could not stop Ohio State running football. So, I think they got away a little bit from the game plan early on. The success they had in the first quarter, I think, that second drive, man, they kind of got away from it. I think they were negative 5 yards on that second drive, and after that, man, Ohio State just kind of put it in the gear. But when I just caught the tail end of what you guys were talking about, man. They got some of the best guys that money can buy with Smith, Juggernaut, Henderson. They have more playmakers on the field. And, regardless of the play call and whatever you want to say with Notre Dame, man, Ohio State just got those dudes. I'm just going to be honest with you. And if you want to get those dudes, you got to pay to get those dudes. And they done that. So overall of the game, man, I think Greathouse, man, I think he's a dude. I mean, he was the only thing keeping him in the football game, to be honest with you. Notre Dame could not run the football. I think that's something. After the first quarter, that was it. I mean, they shut them down pretty much after that,
But, Marcus, let me ask you this. I don't know what the hell we were doing, but we have one of the better running backs in the country ourselves, and he touched the ball 3 times.
Yeah, if you look at the first drive, y'all went straight down the field in the teeth of a defense that Texas was scared to go for 1 yard in the middle of them. And, y'all did something great. I don't understand why y'all went away from that. I don't understand if it was something that Knowles made an adjustment with and just cold stopped them. But you went away from what you did in the first quarter. I mean, you took a 15-play drive. I think that's the longest drive in playoff history as of right now in the first quarter. So you had a whole lot of things going on. Sometimes coordinators get too cute. They want to do this, do what works. And they had something going on in that first drive that worked, and they went away from it, and they got behind. Because of that. And you get down 21 points, then you got to try to do other stuff. Exactly. I mean, do I think
oh shit.
We
lost him.
Yeah.
A lot like my boy Willie. We lost him. He's gone forever.
He gone.
Aaron Hernandez gone forever.
Oh shit!
That's cold. That's cold.
He's real cold. It's frosty.
Speaking of cold here in Pittsburgh, it's negative 10 degrees here. Also, if you want to translate that real quick, it's also fuck that.
Hey, Jason, I'm going to take this chance to beg out. Happy New Year to all you guys. Again, great season,
I didn't mean to
Coach.
upset you there, Bomber. Come on now.
Thanks, brother.
With all that.
Jason, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
You're back.
I wasn't trying to upset you with all that shit.
You weren't upset with me? No. You don't need me on here. You already got some smarter guys than I am. So
well, we
you don't
appreciate
need
you
me
coming
around.
in, man, and we do need to
You
talk
bet.
about some of the new stuff that's coming up. So
Sure.
let's get together soon.
Okay.
Good to see
Nice
you
to see
again, too,
everybody.
Bomber.
All right. Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy
Thanks,
New Year,
Mama.
brother.
Have a
Okay.
good
We'll
one.
see you later. Bye-bye.
Later, brother.
Jason, I got to jump off too, brother. It's 12:30. I got to do a couple things for work. I got a meeting at 7:30 in the morning. Coach, I missed you, brother. I'll tell you what, man. I missed your ass, man. And you've been tweeting me. I'm like, I was at work the other day in my office. I go, Jay, who you tweeting? I said the best coach in fucking college football. I said he's a real fucking dude.
Oh, you're a good guy, JJ. You're
Love
a
you
good
guys.
guy. I missed you too, brother.
Love
Have
you
a
guys,
good
man.
one.
Be safe. Again, I didn't get to tell you guys before. Obviously, I know it's the 20th, but guess what? I don't give a shit. Happy New Year. Love you guys, obviously. Be good. Anytime you need something, just reach out to me. Love you guys, all right?
Hey, man, good
Love
to
you
have
too,
you. Love
brother.
you too, man. We'll
Good
talk
to
to
have
you
you.
soon.
Bye-bye.
JJ Kitchen and Nathan Bomber Brown. Man, I tell you, good to have those guys on. It really is, shit,
Yeah,
man.
it
It's
was
just
good to
been
see him again.
heck of a day. Yeah, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's let me fix this little deal here. That's not what I wanted. No. Damn it.
We lost.
Now we
Dent,
lost
didn't we?
him. Yeah, no, it's my fault. Hold on now. Give me just a second and I'll figure this out at some point. But go ahead. No, shit. That ain't the one either. Hold on, Marcus. Don't just hang tight, man.
There
Okay.
he is. There he is.
There he is. There he is.
Jason keeps cutting you off, Marcus.
Well, I thought
That's
I had
all
it
good,
set up
man.
right, but somehow these damn links haven't worked very good yet. So I don't know what's going on, but you guys bear with us and we'll continue on. Hey, we've got over man, we've had over 200 people in here, 265 people in the chat right now. You haven't hit that like button. I got to ask you why. So, make sure you jump in there, hit that like for us, man. It's so important for us content creators. We're here. Hey, coach is here taking the bullet for, his team losing here. You guys make sure you hit that like button for him. And yeah, hey man. No, look, I guess the point I was getting to is there the question now becomes to me, and I know I was wanting to get their answer to it, but I'll get you guys' answer too. And Coach, I'm going to ask you. You know that money's not the issue for Notre Dame. We've known that all along, and we know that you're going to be able to compete. But here's the question: Year one, the competition was even. I mean, look, you didn't have an ACC team get very far. They didn't get out of the first round, so.
Right.
The Big 12 got a bye, but they got beat. Now they probably should have beaten Texas. But here's the question: if it was a struggle to get one now, what's it going to be like in a couple of years with the revenue changing the way that it is? And we just saw that more talent won out in the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt about that. This is what I see for Notre Dame going forward. This game right here, in the athletes they were able to put on the field, I think he got the most out of those kids. If you go back and look, I don't think Notre Dame was in the top 10 when it comes to recruiting in the last 5 to 10 years. Now, you can say, yeah, they wasn't in a conference, but whatever. Man, they deserve to be there because, they put up a hell of a fight, a hell of a comeback against a team that pretty much is more talented than anybody else in the country at this point in time. They paid more for their athletes. So the way Notre Dame is going, if they start getting the 4 and 5, and that's all they're getting, if they start getting that tier like that, and not having to play in a conference, I'm gonna say that and put that out there. You're looking at a dangerous monster right there. Now
And
they will
I tell
always
you
have to
what,
play that first game, but I'm
sure.
telling you, if they get some of the guys like a Quincy, like a Judkins and a Smith and a Henderson, you let them load up with those type guys and not have to do that SEC thing. Now I'm not going to sit there and say about the Big Ten because they did a great job of not beating up their teams during the year. I got to give their commissioner that much credit. They did that. And guess
They were
what? If I'm a
smart.
commissioner, I'm doing the same damn thing.
You're going to protect
So
your teams.
You're gonna protect your team. That's what you want to do. You protect your teams. In the SEC, we did the damn opposite. We
Yeah,
had everybody beat up on each other, and we got into the playoff. We were limping like hell, and
I
it
agree.
shows right now.
Yep.
So I think the SEC commissioner need to relook at that thing. The only thing that I know that would give us a little bit of leeway if you go back to the East and damn West, I think
Yeah.
that would help us out a lot.
Yeah.
But you got these hard-headed asses. They're gonna do exactly what they want to do because they feel like they already got it figured out. But then when you start losing money, that's when it'll change. Now the Big Ten can holler about, okay, we're the best conference. Was this the second time they done went back to back, or second time they done won it? Well, since '66 or something like that, to back or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So they're not doing nothing spectacular, but Ohio State is going to, they're going to spend the money. And speaking of spending money, I hope they don't spend enough money on the defense coordinator. I hope he goes on down to Norman in a couple of weeks and lay up with his boo. That's kind of what we want, though. I know that
Yeah.
thing undefeated, so I'm hoping it stay like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
um,
think you got a
I
good
mean,
chance.
but here's the deal.
Y'all been
He's
hearing me on that
he,
one now.
he
Come on now.
he's
It's like
he's
having
been
all
he's
the
been
Infinity Stones.
Hey, he's been coaching. He's been coaching college football guys since like '88 or something like that. This is the first national championship he's won. He had a chance to be a head coach. That didn't work that well. He's a defensive coordinator. I'm hoping he feels like, hey, look, I've accomplished everything I need to accomplish here. I'm finna go kick up with my boo because if 50, I think he's like 57 or 58. Dude, once you get close to that 60, yeah, in college football, you're on the downhill. You're on the downhill. So he can come to Oklahoma, make the money, be around his fiance, and hey, look, let's do it again. It's nothing like a coach, that wants a challenge. Okay, look, I done did it over here. I got a challenge over here.
Yeah.
Let's go take on this challenge. And I
I
think
love
that's
it.
what he's. I think that's kind of what he's looking at. So, you know, as much as I like Marcus Freeman, like I said, we did a few camps together back in the day. Um,
Mhm.
I was wanting Ohio State to kind of win because I kind of wanted Knowles to get all that out of his system and when he can start a new life. So hopefully in a couple of days we'll see something out on him because every time somebody asks him about it, he just kind of he gave old Zach Alley dip and dodge. So
Well, and
so
he had
yeah,
to. He,
yeah, he had to, but hopefully in a couple of weeks,
Well,
man,
he had to
I think in a
if he
couple of
was going to
days,
take the job, or if he wasn't sure about staying at Ohio State. That's what he had to do. He could have
yeah, that's
easily
exactly.
talked his way right out of it if he didn't want the job. That's
Hmm.
why the people that are saying that it's not happening, I think you're crazy if you're not paying attention to
yeah.
this. The dude
Yeah.
is leaving.
Yes, yes,
It's loud and clear.
Right.
right,
Loud and clear.
yeah,
But you know what, Jason, going back a little bit to what, talking about all this money and that gap getting bigger. I think, let's all be honest here. Money creates a lot of things. We saw that tonight.
Yep.
Uh, money creates great players. Now, it's not the only variable, obviously.
That's not what I was
There
saying. Right. Right.
No, and that's my point. Is but if you don't have the money, the other variables aren't as important.
true.
Or maybe they're more important, I should say. But if you've got the money to pay for these great athletes, then that's how that's your first step to being successful. Then you got to factor in the rest of the variables. You got to pay money for great coaches. And I'm talking about your head coach, your coordinators. You need to have some great coaches.
Mhm.
Then you got to coach them up. I mean, just because they're great players doesn't mean that they're going to gel together as a team. And you still got to coach these kids up.
Well, coach, look at Texas A&M. They had the best roster for years, and they couldn't break
They couldn't wipe
800.
their ass.
Right, they couldn't break 800. So you have to have a staff that's competent enough to get these kids to where they need to be.
Yes, sir.
Now, I can tell you this. Do you think Ole Miss wish they had to pay Quinshon Judkins?
Hey,
Because
he
their
looked like
running
a
game
man
was
possessed
horrible.
at times tonight. What a great game for him tonight. Look, I
Yeah, I
haven't seen
mean, and
anybody be
the
able to
people
run
at
the
Oxford
football
right
all
now
day.
is sick. You know, they're sick at Oxford right now, bro.
Yeah,
They
there's no
did, they
doubt.
did not want to see him win a championship.
No, they didn't.
Nope.
Yeah.
They did not.
So,
But they're the
Lane,
dumbasses that let him go.
well, I mean, it was some more variables in that, but I think they could have handled it a certain way. And they felt like, okay, we done paid all this money for this, that, and the third, and then they went and got I can't remember his name. Maybe he was at Miami or someone like that. They came and got him, and he just wasn't a dude, man. Man, he
Right.
just wasn't. He wasn't Junkins. And Junkins, to be honest with you, he was worth $1 million to him. They spent
Yeah.
all kind of money on freshmen that hadn't hit the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
that cat probably would have put you in the playoffs if they had him because their running game was not there. It was everything was on Jackson Dart. Everything was on Jackson Dart, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't make the playoff. Any Ole Miss guy will tell you right now the reason why we're not in the playoff because we did not have a running game.
Here's what I would tell you too. He's saying it cost $25 million to win. That was this year. That's why I was talking about moving
It's
into the
going to keep
future.
growing.
We've already heard about Michigan planning to spend $55 million in NIL money. We're not talking about the rev share. We're talking about NIL money. I don't care who you are. You cannot just keep up with that money without dipping into private equity or something like that. The game is not being built for the little guy anymore. And I don't care they may be giving them access, but I was talking about this with Tim, and I have nothing but respect for any of these guys. And I'm not saying this as somebody who roots for a team in the SEC. I'm saying it as I don't see how you can sustain this with the money differences, how you can keep up when they can just overspend. It can go crazy if they wanted to.
Well, Jason, I believe the money is going to run out. I really do. Nobody have a abundance of money. Nobody just like you make it,
What are you
in
talking about?
in a factory.
They're getting
But
$8
this is
billion
what
a
I'm.
year
This is
for this shit. $8 billion a year.
well. This is what
We
I'm
just got
saying.
20.
I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, Jason. I'm saying it's going to be a time where somebody's going to stream. Hey, I just can't go no more. This is way too much
I'm talking
But
about the
because
here's
you're
the
gonna you're
thing.
gonna
revenue
get
share
your
from
But
and
I'm
and
talking
it,
about
it
the
might not
money.
be tomorrow, it might not be the next year, but it's
Hold
gonna
on.
get to a point where
I'm not
you're
talking
not
about
gonna be
the
able to afford to
NIL.
go to a game.
I'm not
but
talking
I'm
about
talking
the
here's
about the
NIL
private
though. I'm
equity.
talking about the money that they're getting from the television contracts, Marcus. The
Oh
money is
yeah,
it's
okay,
$40
yeah.
million
Okay, I didn't.
difference.
Okay,
So that means that you
I
can pay
got
your
you.
20
I'm
and a
with you
half.
on that.
Yeah, it's 40 million difference. So even if they start backing off of it, who's going to back off of it first, the little guy or the big guy?
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna cost the consumer. You're gonna cost that whoever wants to, advertise. Advertising is gonna go through the roof when it comes to that
the
because you got
That's
to
bottom
why
have
line,
I'm
the
saying
rich are
all
going
that
to
advertising.
get
money.
richer.
It's not gonna get worse. They're not gonna stop printing money just like they didn't with the NFL. You're seeing this thing in the early stages, and I'm saying I think it's
Yeah,
harder.
I'm
And
talking about the
I want
schools.
them
I'm
to give them
I'm
access. I'm
I'm
not
with you.
telling you
I'm
don't give
I'm
them
with
access.
you on the. I'm with you on the like with we're not talking about the schools right now. You're talking about the TV deals and things like that. That's what you're talking about,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Well, look at
I
And
Notre
see
Dame.
and
that.
and, and,
They're
I
getting
see
and
65
that.
guys,
million. Hold on, 65 million from NBC. They got another 20 just because they made it this far in the playoff, and they don't have to share it with anybody. That's $85 million. That's more than what the SEC and Big Ten got. But there's no way for anyone in the Big 12 or ACC to pull that kind of money.
Nobody.
Unless they go into
That's
private
what I
equity,
was.
there's no way.
Well, man, look, that's what I was saying, Jason, earlier. I see Notre Dame is in a great spot right now. I think they're in the best spot in college football when it comes to money. I
And
do.
here's the thing, guys. The thing is, what all this is playing out to be is the rich will get richer and the
Hmm.
poor will get poorer.
That's the
And the
only point I've been
poor
trying to make.
are
No, you're absolutely right.
the small schools are going to get left out. And the truth of the matter is, guys, and we've talked about this way before today. We've been talking about it over a year. But truly, what needs to happen is the small schools need to have their own championship game.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach. I was told by two SEC coaches when Isaiah was being recruited that within 3 years that was going to happen. It was already
Good,
in talks. It was
good.
already in talks that about that. You're going to have about 40 teams in the P4 ranking that's going to say, "Hey, look, we're going to be a conference. Then you're going to have another conference." So what you're finna do? You're finna create another conference. Like you got FCS, FBS. You're finna create GCS or whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
you're finna create another conference because right now these conferences can't compete. There's no way
No.
possible. I mean, you got the. I mean, you'll have something like what happened to you guys. Illinois come up and just have a hell of a damn game, and you play just a badass game. That's going to happen because that's college football. That happens every day.
Sure it does,
But to
but
be
that's
able
not going to
to be
continue
able to
happening as
compete,
much. Look,
say,
I think
say
that
what now?
it's definitely on the big guy to do his job with the money, and you've heard them talking about telling the Vanderbilts and the Illinois and the Indianas of the world that you have to put their money into being competitive or we will move you out of this and not
Yeah,
continue to pay you. So, but that's the point is that it doesn't even, Chrissy, you're sitting here saying this. You keep telling me there's no infinite money print. Donors get donation fatigue. People get tired of the AD calling it. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the revenue differences between their television contracts.
yeah. I
40
understand exactly
to
what you're talking
50
about on that.
million different over a 4-year period is $200 million, $160 million. They don't have to continue worrying about the donors. They can continue printing their money out that they're getting from the CFP because we all loved it and we all want to watch it. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
telling you,
mean,
that's the problem. That's the concern that I have. I don't think that you can cut off half of the country and it still be okay.
no.
But I think that's what's going to happen either way.
Well, so let me ask you this: so you don't think creating a league where um, the Cincinnati's, um, the Louisville's, the Oregon States, all those guys could play and compete for a championship? You don't think those guys would generate revenue?
Not up against it. Not you're talking
No,
about
I'm
who
not signing up
the
against
F,
that. No. I'm
the
just saying
G6
probably what it would be.
the G6 does need to have its own tournament. They do, but the Power Four. I don't think that you can stand to get rid of the FBS completely. I just don't think you can. I think you have to at least be around 60 teams in order to at least. I don't think that you can go less than that. If you do,
So
then you're
you trying to
alienating
create
a
an
lot of the country.
NIT?
I don't
You're
think.
trying to create an NIT almost, huh?
Well, listen, I mean, I think that they're going to have
I'm
to do
just saying.
something. They're going to have to do
Yeah, they're
something
gonna have to do
because
something.
look, let's just be real about it. The Group of 5 school was not prepared this year, and honestly, SMU was a G5 school masquerading as a Power 4 school. They didn't play nobody other than they lost to BYU, and then they lost to Clemson, and Clemson was pretty mid comparatively to what they've been, especially on the defense. They couldn't stop the run at all.
Yeah,
There's no
I got it.
reason,
I get it.
and that's what I'm saying. That and look, that's not a money problem. That's a fact. The fact of the matter is, SMU is not going to be able to put it together like that. Now, money wise down the road, maybe, but those are the teams that are going to be able to like really compete. Is because now there isn't any rules. These guys are talking. I mean, they're acting like they're about to put rules in place. When? Because we were talking about it today. You got a kid from Wisconsin that was told, nope, you signed an NIL deal. You have to stay here. All he did was disenroll and show up at Miami. What did the NCAA say? Not a damn thing. Can't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's different now.
That's not even using the portal.
I watched the
That
kid
tells you
sign
the
with Ole
portal's
Miss.
even useless. The
Right.
portal is useless now.
Well, it's just a holding chamber is all it
They don't
is.
have to use it. They don't have to use it.
Yeah, it's just a holding chamber, pretty much. I mean, you're right. All it does is just
told
let
him
somebody
he
know
enroll
you're.
the portal, and so he didn't. He disenrolled and enrolled at Miami. There's nothing they can do. He didn't even use the portal. That's the point.
No, I got you.
That's what I'm saying. It's a concern. I mean, to me, I want to see more of these, man. I want to see more of these, not less. And I think the more that the money changes, I think they're going to have to go to the new system because I don't see this being good for the other two, even for the other two power conferences, much less the G6.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some changes are coming. I've been hearing a lot of things about stuff is coming up in court, but you really don't know what those things are. I mean, you just hearing, okay, we got this, we got the administration is coming in, is going to do this, going to do that. I haven't seen any factual prints on anything that should happen or when it's going to happen. So as of right now, I'm acting like things are just like it is.
Well, let's get off of this because we got guys in here wanting to talk about this game tonight. So we'll go back into that. Talk to me about. I guess my thing would be with. I enjoyed watching the way that Notre Dame played. I think that there was a different team that showed up tonight.
I think Notre Dame team.
Yes. First off, not just because of the injuries, but I think that the spotlight was a little bright. It looked like for these guys, and they haven't looked like that. You haven't seen. If you go back to watching that, Coach, and I'll ask you, you go back to watching that halftime interview, he was flustered, man. Marcus Freeman was flustered. He did not seem like his normal self. Last week he was, hey, we're going to.
Calm and collected.
Yeah, hey, this is not who we are. We're not giving up. He looked stunned.
He was flustered. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what coach being down 24. I don't know who would be frustrated.
Sure.
I'm being honest with you guys.
Yeah.
I would be totally pissed. I mean, it's hard for me to be calm, cool, and collective. I'm down 3 tutties, and I know they finna get the ball back. So that's me. But I can say this for the job that they did to get back in. Yeah, to get back in this ball game. Hey man, they better keep Marcus Freeman around, bro. They better keep him around because, dude, he has done a hell of a job for what he. I think they did. Did they re-sign him, Coach?
Contract. What was the?
Yeah,
what
he's
was
already signed. It's another. I think it was a 6-year deal extension. So I think he's got another 8 years. Yeah, they were smart enough to go ahead and get him signed.
Hey, so you take this guy 3 years. He comes in, goes to the Natty, with a roster of, you got a couple, you got a few 4-stars in there, but mainly high 3-stars. I think 1 5-star. You got a linebacker or something like that.
Actually, we have 1 5-star and 54 stars.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this right here: you're going to get more players. You're going to get some more high-end 4-stars. That's coming.
Yes.
And I can say this. You got to be crazy to not to look at Notre Dame if you're coming out of high school, because you look at what they have money wise. You look at the path they have to the playoffs, and look, I'm a realist. I'm not trying to take the hardest road to the damn playoffs. You're a dumbass if you are. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest with you. You're a dumbass if you say, "No, I want to play all these tough teams to get there." Yeah, I want some good matchups to see where I am. Definitely, I
Sure.
want the matchups, but I'm not sitting up here saying I want to play Georgia, I want to play Alabama, I want to
Right.
play Oklahoma. I don't want to play these damn teams back to back to back and be
To
beat
back.
up
Yeah.
and limp in the damn playoffs. That's what the SEC teams did.
Exactly.
And not making an excuse for nobody. They limped their asses in the damn playoffs.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And you sit up here. I guarantee the commissioner sitting right now. He's thinking, man, what the hell have I done? Because
Well,
you
and
you,
he's
you
going to have to take a good look at that. You're right.
he's gonna have to take a damn good look at that, bro. You're gonna have to go back to the East and West. You go back to the East and West, you probably have a more healthier Georgia team. You
Right.
probably have that. You probably same way with Alabama. Now Alabama had some problems outside. They had as much as I like Jalen Milrows, he gets one dimensional in sometimes, and if anybody showed him what one dimensional was, and that was Oklahoma. They showed it to the whole world, and
Agreed.
that's what happened. That's what happened to him. But you get some people like Mississippi State, that's not very good, but they don't have to play that whole tough ass schedule all the way across, and then you sneak them into a 6-6 schedule, and everybody making a big deal about the SEC going 1-5 against the Big Ten. Hell, well, man, it happens every once in a while. But if you go back and look at it, I guarantee you, if Ohio State and if Oregon had to play the schedule that Georgia or Oklahoma or Florida, you take those two teams and play that schedule and see are you just like you are in that playoff. I doubt it.
Yeah.
It just won't
It
happen.
goes to this
So
question right here. So would this talk of the SEC going to 9 conference games be put on hold?
that's
Topher, I've been
that's
saying this for
bullshit.
months now. Not only are they not going to 9, they might go down to 6 and tell everybody else, get ready, you're going to have to play us because we're in
Right.
charge of this damn thing. That's what they're going to end
hmm
up doing. And these are the things that they should go ahead and go to a 16 so that they can give all the access that they want to give to these other schools. Because here's the thing, it's going to get to this point that I think that that's what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to go to 9 games. In fact, I know they're not until they get the
No,
amount
not
of playoff
after
entrance that
this
they
right
want.
after this right here that just happened, guys. There's no way in hell they go to 9 games.
I think they might go back to divisions even.
Yeah, divisions would be better.
I don't know that you
Divisions
have
would be
to. I think that
better.
you have to come up with a scheduling way to not get all your best teams beat to death, though.
Well, shit.
Losing 3 games, if losing 3 games in the SEC isn't the same as losing 2 in another conference, then they're not going to continue doing that. They're not.
Mhm. You see right now, losing 3 games in the SEC don't get your ass in,
Nope.
pretty much.
And you assumed that
So,
it would. Is the SEC in trouble? That's the question I have. I
oh,
have
the
that for us.
SEC is in big trouble if we don't realign. If we don't realign with the teams that we have right now, we're in huge trouble. We're in major trouble right now. And that's something that, hey, he has to look at. He has to take a big fat look in the mirror and say, hey, did I screw this shit up? And be man enough to say, hey, yeah, I effed it up, man, and I got to change it. I got too many of my teams beating each other damn up. It's just like you take a heavyweight fighter. Guess what, guys? He's going to fight a big fight every 1 year, maybe year and a half. He can't fight a damn heavyweight fight every freaking 3 months.
Benji, you think I'm saying 6 conference games so they can go play a bunch of freaking FCS teams? No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, that's
They're
not
gonna
what you're
make
saying.
they're gonna force the hand of the Big Ten and the ACC and the Big 12 to say, okay, we're gonna make you play us now. These other 3 games that everybody would play, everybody's gonna want. They're gonna want everybody to play 6 and then go ahead and play each other, which will be better games even. There'll be those matchups
Yeah.
during the regular season. They're going to make sure. I'm telling you, man, this is something they've been talking about.
Oh, it's
Just
coming.
because you're not paying attention, don't mean it ain't happening.
Oh, it's coming. It's no way in the hell they going to 9 games. with all the shit that just went down this year. I don't think it won't change next year because the schedule's already set. But 2026, I believe you can bet your ass. I think you're going to see something different.
Like
I
Kel
really
said,
think you're going to do
Alabama
something
lost to a
different.
bunch of nerds over at Vandy. That bunch of nerds over at Vandy, they got money and they got some players too, and they got a quarterback. And they played the right way to beat them, just like Oklahoma did.
Here's the thing about Vandy, y'all. You forgetting Vandy had a couple of good years when what's his name at Penn State when he was there. He won 8-9 ball games when he was there. It's not impossible to win at Vandy. You got to have the right coaches. You got to have the right minded people. But Vandy can get better players than Louisville because they got the money. And we talking about football, but you don't want to take your ass up there and play Vandy in baseball. Hell, Vandy's men and women team just beat Tennessee in basketball the other day. So I'm just talking about as an overall um, deal with Vandy. Man, Vandy is kicking the fucking bucket right now, and they know it. And it's time out for the nerds. It's just like in basketball. Duke was a bunch of nerds, but they will whoop your ass in basketball. So
Right.
don't give me that nerd shit. Vandy has an administration right now that is doing something different than any
Right.
Vandy administration has done when it comes to sports.
Well, that's what I was saying. That these big conference or these big television networks are not going to sit there and put up with. They're not going to keep paying you $80 to $100 million a year to not spend it on your football players and your
Right.
football coaches and everything else. They're
Revenue
not gonna do it.
sports.
You have
Revenue
to do it.
sports. Yes,
That's
revenue
correct.
sports. You're going to have to spend the money. And like right now, Vandy's the smallest school,
Which is the same reason
stadium
that Notre
wise.
Dame can afford to do that. They don't have to join the conference because they're getting $65 million plus 20 and plus 10 from Under Armour and whatever other money they got coming in.
I tell you what,
Notre
I'm
Dame's in
gonna
great
say
shape.
I'm gonna
Great
say this,
shape.
and I know some people probably gonna hear this in Mississippi, and they be like, "Oh, Marcus G," but I think they had the kid Deuce Knight. They had him locked, loaded, and ready to go, and Auburn overpaid and got it. If there should have been somebody in his ear letting him know, so look, man, the wall is gonna come falling down over here before long.
Well,
Right
they
now,
also recruited another quarterback already over the top of him.
yeah, they recruited a quarterback over top of him, and they just brought in Jackson. Jackson. So look, man, you thought you was going to be the guy,
And now he's not.
and now he's not. Then you had a nerve to ask Cam Newton, "Can you wear number 2?" Man, Cam was like, no, but not hell no. So my deal of it is, it's going to be some people wake up and say, okay, Notre Dame is a place that I feel like is going somewhere, and they are. They got a young, innovative staff that's hungry. Now, one thing I do know about Marcus, he is a lot stricter than people think he is. Man, he cut up with the guys, but he is a hard nose as hell.
High
I'm telling you,
expectations.
he got high expectation of all his kids.
He
I
learned
do
that
know
from
that.
Tressel. He learned it from Tressel.
Yeah, he was a 100% hard ass.
Yeah,
And
guys,
so
I hate to get off, but I gotta go get ready for bed and get ready for tomorrow.
yeah,
I got
No
some
worries,
early
Coach.
morning
I
meetings.
understand, and I appreciate you coming in and being man. You were a sport for coming in at all. I would have understood if you wanted to give it a night and talk about it later. You know what I mean?
Shit. Hey, you know what? Hey, I talk a lot of shit when we're winning, and
That you do.
so I'm gonna take my shit when we lose.
I
So
heard that, Coach. I heard
that's
that.
just the way you got to do it, brothers.
We know you
Hey,
love.
love
Oh yeah.
y'all.
Love
Y'all
you,
have a
man.
good
All right,
night,
Coach,
man.
man.
Appreciate you coming on, Coach. Thanks,
I'm
man.
gonna go see if I have any fucking nightmares over tonight. I may think I may have a nightmare that Jeremiah Love died
Oh
since
shit!
they didn't give him the damn
Marcus, knock this
football.
shit over.
Okay, good night, guys.
All right,
Oh
Coach. Have a
man.
good one.
All right,
Bye
Coach.
bye.
All right, Coach Roybal, my co-host
Yeah.
on the Tuesday night show. Man, he's my guy. Love having him in, and appreciate him coming in as well. Like I said, appreciate everybody
Yeah,
showing
man.
up to the stream and talking about. And look, man, I'm not bad mouthing anybody or trying to make it out to be that anybody's doesn't deserve whatever they got or a shot at this thing, because that's not what I think. What I think is you can see the writing on the wall, and you've seen the writing on the wall for a while. The game is changing so much, and because of these little differences, we're seeing things that it's not going to be recognizable. I don't believe coming soon, right? I just don't think that it is. It's going to continue to be tougher and tougher for everybody else that isn't on that level. Now, I think now that it's just us two in here, we can do some Oklahoma talk and talk about this Jim Knowles situation. This is no, seriously.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, as much as looks great football game tonight, I think that shout out to Will Howard, because we've been giving him a hard time, for most of the year. But I think that it was clear you had to get that kid off of you had to get that kid off his mark, Marcus. And when he stepped up and made that throw to kind of seal the game down the field, 56-yard pass play, that was huge. This is a kid that came from that area, and that just goes to show you that you can have these guys excel at the next level. I think that we're just starting to see how much this portal stuff and this other stuff it's gonna be tougher for you to build any kind of real what's the word I'm looking for here?
Continuity or something like that?
Continuity, absolutely. I think it's hard with continuity because of the money situation, and there is no guidelines whatsoever. I think that's hard.
Well,
because the big guy can always step in there and pay more money.
He can always step in and pay more money, man. I'm gonna tell you what I got out of tonight's ball game, and when it comes to OU, you look at John Mateer coming from Washington, and you look at Howard. Both of those guys were transfer guys. They came into a system and they learned that system, and both of them became dynamic quarterbacks. I love it. What I like about what I saw from the defense coordinator tonight is I saw that Notre Dame took that ball and they went straight down the field. But what I did see from the first quarter to about 9 minutes in the first quarter, all the way to I want to say the third quarter, man, they made some hell of adjustments. Damn, I mean, they made some adjustments. Ohio State made it very difficult for Notre Dame to do anything. Now, don't get me wrong, Notre Dame ended up getting some big plays or whatever, but the adjustments that he made in that game time, just like he did, man, that's what you got to have. Because you don't get me wrong, you got Jimmys and Joes over there. They don't have as many as Ohio State, but they got some guys. But to go in and say, hey, look, you did this the first quarter. Okay. You did this the first drive, really. Because the first quarter, they really, outside of that drive, they didn't do anything. But I like how he went in and he said, no, that's not what you're going to do. We're going to adjust. They adjust. Now, don't get me wrong, Notre Dame came back and adjusted a little bit more in the third, but yet and still, man, they was able to do what they needed to do. And I like that. And you get a guy like Knowles, you get him in. Now, Coach Venables can be the CEO that he needs to be, without having to, have his hands on this. You have Zach, you got your quarterback, you got your quarterback offense coordinator, you got your quarterback coach. You got the things that we were missing last year to be successful. Now you don't have to have your hands on the defense. You got a guy who is super capable of doing everything he needs to do with a defense. Now you can actually look at the overall team. Okay, now you can sit back and have some binoculars and just kind of see everything without having to go over here and just say, I gotta concentrate on this side of the ball. And then, okay, during mid-year, we get rid of our coordinator. Now he has to go over here and concentrate on this side of the ball. Now you can do CEO duties and just pretty much kind of take care of everything. Because we know, man, BV is a guy who loves OU. He's a guy who loves every player on that football team. And I think, him not being able to do some of the things that he want to do is just tragic because he is that guy. I don't care what nobody say or whatever. I know the man. I've talked to him. I entrusted him with our son to come and play at OU. I believe in what he's doing. I do believe he needed a little bit of help. That's my opinion. And if we get those and we got all buckle, man, I think we're gonna be the surprise team. We're bringing back 8 starters. We're gonna be the surprise team. Well, we're not going. It's not gonna be a surprise to me. It's not gonna be a surprise to you.
We were talking
But
about
it's
this
gonna be
morning.
it's gonna be a surprise to a lot of people because man, we were just missing offensive production. That's all we was missing, man. Look at the games that were close with no offensive production.
Yep.
Some people just don't understand that.
You had a chance to win at least another 3 games.
That's I
At
mean, if
least
we
another
just
3 games.
yeah. And here's my thing. I was on something the other day, and man, they was slamming Joe John. Here's my deal, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about that. Joe John did not have a summer. He did not have a spring.
I agree
He
with
did
you.
not have a whole damn year. Now, yeah, some of
But
the calls you
listen,
like,
there's no way
well,
that you could
you know,
call the games
it,
that he called towards the end. The Missouri calling,
yeah.
the
I
way that the
mean,
game was called after you beat Alabama and you go away from that game plan before anybody
yeah,
makes you go away from that game plan, when
yeah.
you have a
Now,
quarterback that's
I
scared to
didn't like,
death.
I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that. But that's here or there. But what I'm saying is to have a deep playbook of your own shit. You don't. It's no way in the hell when you got a game plan for a team the next week that you got enough. You're just not gonna have it. And here's my. I'm gonna say this about the Alabama game, and therefore after Alabama defense. Sometimes matchups happen in college football, in basketball, baseball. The
Yeah.
matchup with us, with Alabama, was a hell of a matchup for us. I felt like that. Yeah, we could have did some stuff that we did, in the Alabama game and some of those other. Yeah, we could have did that. But I just think Alabama matched up so well, and our defense dominated them so bad. It gave our offense confidence to do what they did because the defense just took their ass. They just took it from them, and they would just could and that gave that offense a light to say, you know what, guys, we can't screw this one up. And they went out there and they handled business. So, but I can tell you this, guys, I'm gonna tell you about the offensive line. Dude, you got a lot smarter offensive line. You got a lot more depth on the offensive line. That's gonna help in practice, guys. That's gonna help people, that's gonna help kids not have to go through as much when you got a lot of bodies that you can go through and you can use them in practice and you don't have to have as many reps. So it's a lot of things that are changing that people on the outside don't see. You holler about, oh, Oklahoma gonna be the next Nebraska. Man, screw you.
Oh, silly shit. Silly shit to
Yeah,
say such a
but
thing.
but but it's if you're not. I'm not gonna say if you're not on the inside, but if you're not a fan and you're not keeping up what's going on with OU, then guess what? No, you're not gonna know. But if you're keeping up with what's going on, the things that they're doing right now, the kids that they're bringing in,
Yep.
hey, shame on you because it's finna happen.
Yeah, the 8 seed won the championship. That tells you how the 8 seed wasn't a real seeding. The auto bidding, the auto seeds, the auto bids are one thing. And you're not getting away with that. And in fact, I don't think that you have to get away with auto. You don't have to get away from auto bids.
Mm-mm.
I don't love them, but I don't hate them either. What you can't
That's
do
how I feel
is
about
auto-seed them. Auto-seeding
them.
them is stupid. The conference championships, we just found out that the conference championships may be a bigger burden than they are a help, because nobody that even played in a conference championship got this far.
That's
They
right.
didn't even play for
Exactly
it.
right.
So
Exactly right.
you got to look at it as it's almost better to have the week of rest. Notre Dame, everybody talked about, well, they'll never get a bye. You know what? They don't want a damn bye.
Mm-mm.
Because they don't have a
Mm-mm.
conference championship game, and then that would give them too much time off. They're going to have to fix some things about the bracket. Overall, I think that this was a huge success. It's a great question somebody asked in here. A great question that we had somebody asking here a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Asking if this is the first true college football national champion, or first true champion playing through, a bracket like this and having to get through.
I would say so.
I think it's it's definitely a new achievement, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would say
that.
the first true champion, but I would say it's the first big achievement.
Yes, I would go with that.
What's up, Charles? Good to see you, my man.
I'd definitely go with that. And I mean,
Bishop Frank
it's just like
out. Hey, hold on real quick. Bishop Frank's giving out memberships to the channel. Thank you, Bishop Frank. We got new members. The Hog Wild podcast. That's our boys over there. Love it, love it, love it. Glad you guys are in here. We got Woo Pig and the Hog Wild in here now as members of the channel as well. Loving seeing this. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Brother, Chicago. Thanks for coming in, my guys. We appreciate you. What else? What do you guys think, though? Is this? I'll put it out to the chat. What are your thoughts? Is this the first true national champion having to go through it, or do you feel like I'm of the opinion? I think it's something that we're going to have to think on a little bit. But to me, it's certainly a new achievement. Go ahead. And what do you? I mean, you were about to make a thought there. I just wanted to shout out.
No. I think it is, man. I think it was great what just happened. To see Ohio State, to see Notre Dame, two teams that didn't play in a conference championship, make it to the finals, and one of those teams win. I think that's something that how much weight are we putting on this championship? I mean, so right now, if I'm just like you said before, if I don't really want to be in a conference championship, man. You talking about a conference championship, and then you got this deal going on. It's a lot. That's a lot on a team.
I feel like it's one thing it's one thing to have it if you move the playoffs up a week, because you can't have them. You can't have 4 teams or 2 teams or however many they end up doing it, having 30 days, almost 30 days off. And the other guys have been playing for, they got 2 weeks off, almost like having a bye, and then they're right back at it. You can't have that happen.
You got a lot of rust if you do that, man. I mean, you got to play. It's just like, I mean, if me as an athlete, I want to play. I don't want to rest that much. You get a week off. After that week off, man, you ready to go again. And to have 30 days off, man, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot to overcome.
Chrissy, in one sentence, you say it doesn't need fixing. Whoever was meant to win won. And then the next one, you say maybe the first round bye was a detriment. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Come on.
Which one is
it?
One or the
other.
Which one is it?
Yeah,
that's the point I'm asking the question.
But
that's a lot of rest. It's too much rest, probably. Used to, when it was back in the old 14 playoff, you had 2 teams that both had the same amount of time off. If there was rust, they were both rusty, right?
They were both rusty. And right now, man, I want to just kind of go back to something that we talked about when some of the other guys were on. When it comes to what these teams are going to spend and how many guys that you have on your team. Back when you had 130 or however many, kids you could have on your team, you was able to get a lot of reps in and stuff like that, man. But now you go into that 105, you need to go ahead on and play, in my opinion, because you got all these kids on the team. You got to do something with them. I know you got your starters or whatever, man, but it's just a lot of dead weight sitting around, And so I'm glad that
It's
they're,
one thing to get a couple of weeks off and try to get healthy
yeah,
if you need it, right? But
yeah,
there's
all you need.
another, yeah.
That's all you need, man. You do not need that much time off. I mean, and the thing about it is, man, these are 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids, man. They'll lose focus in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
My,
Mr.
my
Frank with the
wife's,
super chat.
yeah, my wife
Numerous
says,
round playoffs, huge success, needs some adjustments, leave no doubt.
yeah,
Definitely got
and
to have some adjustments.
my wife talk
Go ahead.
about these kids having, she called them having the TikTok mindset, 24 seconds. That's that's about all they can hold in. Sometimes, you got a lot of things that can go on a football team in 30
Yeah.
days, bro. That's a
A
lot
lot
of
of
different
things.
stuff. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that can go on,
Well,
and
and you
so
can't. It's
you
hard to
want to
keep
cut
up
that
their
down.
intensity, right? The intensity
Yeah,
has
it's
got to
super
be
hard. It's super hard to keep up intensity,
right.
and you got that long before you play again. I mean, it's a lot, man. So, but I think a lot of things need to be fixed. I think the SEC need to fix their house first. I really do. I think we got some things in the SEC we need to fix with the scheduling and some of those things. I think that's number one for Sankey. I think he should be looking at that from the get go. Right now, that should be his main focus. 2026, what do I do? How do I fix this? Not giving anybody any favors, but I gotta fix this. I can't have some of the teams that have been more prominent in our conference have to go through this kind of schedule, and we don't have a team in the championship. So he has to take a long look at some of the things that he have done, and going forward, and especially when it comes to football. Baseball, everybody gonna play each other twice anyway. Same thing with basketball, but football it's a lot different. It's a whole hell of a lot different.
Guys, this idea that they're going to get rid of the conference championship game, Purple Orca, it's never going to happen, brother. It's not ever going to happen. They're not going to allow it.
They're not gonna get rid.
You
They're
might
not
as
gonna
well
get rid of
just
the conference.
forget that one because there's money in it. Now, what they'll do is adjust everything else around it to make it worth winning at the moment. Right now, it could be considered a detriment because of what happened in this playoff. They're not going to allow that to continue to be the case because that's going to take money out of your pocket if you don't have those games. That's not where they're headed. Let's just be real about that.
They're not going to continue to
fellas.
do that. No.
No,
They're not going.
they're gonna stop giving. They're gonna stop doing the auto seeding. That I guarantee you that's happening. If they're going to 16, you're probably not going to have more than 2 buys. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just take a book out of the FCS, pretty much. I mean, you just got to take a page out of that book and kind of look at, okay, not say do it exactly like they do it, but you need to take a look at it. I mean, your highest ranked teams, it need to be seeded like that. It don't need to the conferences shouldn't have anything to do with it. It shouldn't have anything to do with it at all.
Ole Miss's
Where was
schedule is
Ohio?
harder than Ohio State's. What are you even talking about, bro?
He said, what now?
I said SEC overrated guy. This guy is constant.
Well, I mean, you want to holler about the SEC
compared to other SEC teams. It wasn't light against the rest of the country.
Dude,
Don't get it twisted.
you can't argue with some people, man. You want to sit up here. I heard somebody say, "Well, you only had Alabama and Georgia win the championship." That's a lie. You had Auburn won one too. You throw Auburn ass in there.
Yeah,
they're not the only teams. But you go back and you look at how strong the SEC has been in the last 10 years. Just go look at their record. You just take Ole Miss. They have won 10 games. What, for the last 4 years?
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They beat the shit out of Penn State last year.
Beat the hell
in the
out
damn
of
bowl game.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, so man, don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that.
No, and that's the whole thing, is that you can say that, but if you go and look at the strength of schedules, you can't. There's nobody in the Big Ten. There's nobody in any other conferences that were out that had better schedules, tougher schedules than what even the low end schedule teams, other than like Missouri's was, but that was. They caught all the breaks on that one. They didn't play Tennessee. They didn't have to play Texas or Georgia. They played Alabama and they played Oklahoma.
That's it.
And A&M. And that was the worst of theirs.
And like they got their ass whooped by Oklahoma at home.
Didn't have to play LSU. They didn't play Ole Miss. They didn't play Florida.
No. They had the easiest schedule in college football as a P14.
Certainly one of them. But aside from that, even Texas's schedule, when you look at it on the whole, it was better than the other teams outside of the SECs.
Yeah. I give you that. I give you that. Don't want to, but I give you that. But you take Ohio State, man. You gotta give it up to them, man. And if you want to thank anybody for this damn national championship, you can thank the Michigan Wolverines, because they woke their asses up, and I'm talking about they've been wide awake ever since. You planting that flag helped them get a national championship. So guess what, Michigan, you can get a part of this championship too, because you damn sure help ignite the damn flame.
Yep. I'm with Steve B here. Ohio State played no one in the conference. And yeah, look, I'm telling you, these things, I wouldn't get upset about it as an SEC person either, though, because what happened is the SEC just got their mandate on how they're going to get in. If you think they're just going to sit back and take that and continue playing the ridiculous schedules and getting beat up like that, I don't see them doing it. And that's part of the shame of this whole thing, man. That's why I think that on top of that, you know what? I love the idea of everybody playing 6 conference games and playing the top. You play your spot in the other conferences for the other 3. So you play an ACC school one week, you play a Big Ten school one week, you play a Big 12 school one week, and you match them up from what you did last year, what they did last year. Those are the matchups you get in that year.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do that? Because then you can separate, and you have teams that it's more of an equal schedule. Because right now, if you're going to go by you're going to say record, you're going to have SEC folks saying that's bullshit. And then and you've got people in the Big Ten saying that, it means more. The wins have to matter. Well, the wins have to matter. Okay, then we're going to stop playing good teams unless we need to all play each other. That way you get the best of both of it. You don't just get to say they played a bunch of damn, and none of us can say it about anybody. Can't say it about the ACC. You can't say it about any of them. That you had to play the teams that you were equal to in every conference throughout the season in order to get to that spot. That's really how it should be anyway. And I think that they're showing that anyway. There's no two ways around it. Because if you can be Indiana and play that fucking schedule and get to the playoffs and everybody thinks that's okay, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of how we got stuck with the schedule we had, because of I think they kind of looked at over the last 3 years, whatever the record was or whatever,
dude.
in Texas or something like that.
Best. Tennessee might have been the 4th best SEC team, Chrissy.
Right.
Stop it. And they played them at home. They didn't go play them in Neyland. They played them at home.
Who are you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Tennessee and Ohio State. Chrissy, he's full of shit. The SEC,
man,
no bullshit. That's bullshit.
Here's my thing with you guys. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you this. Y'all had a decent year this year.
Who did Penn State play?
Here's the thing. You had a decent year this year. What the damn do? Shit, man. Okay. You had some decent teams. From top to bottom, it still don't compare to the SEC, but we're never going to get you to understand that.
And how many
we're never going to get them to see that. And we don't have to.
Yeah.
But if you look at the teams You look at Georgia and you look at Alabama. That's who y'all want to say, okay, they won championships. But you look at some of the teams in our conference that played them tough. But when they got to the damn playoff, they blow damn teams out. If you want to do that, do that.
Look,
Do
so
that.
USC. So we're talking. You guys are pounding your chest about USC beating A&M, about Michigan beating an Alabama team, about beating Alabama when they were basically coming apart at that point. And you're talking, and then you got a couple of wins from Ohio State, who is the best team in the country, by the way, and got to play one of those games at home. Come on, man.
What you're pounding your chest
about.
The Big Ten has won 2 championships back to back. The last time was 1966. So hang your hat on that. Y'all that damn good.
I wasn't giving
good.
Mizzou credit. I wasn't giving Mizzou credit when they beat Ohio State last year in the Cotton Bowl.
Right.
We're really going to sit here and do this stuff? Because, guys, that's not what it is. And we're not even bad-mouthing the Big Ten here. I'm telling you that you need to balance out the schedules.
I got respect for the Big Ten, man.
For the sake of the game, balance the schedules out. Balance the schedules out. That's what you have to do.
You have to balance the schedule out, guy. Definitely got to.
You want a real champion, that's how you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some things that has to be done. There's some things that has to be changed. And I think the SEC knows that.
Same schedule. They did not play the same schedule.
Who said what now?
He's saying Ohio State and Oregon played the same schedule as Indiana. No, the hell they didn't. Indiana played Michigan and Ohio State. They didn't play anybody else in the regular season. The next best team, they didn't even play Penn State.
It might have been Illinois.
I don't think they did.
Look it up.
Let me go look that one up to make sure. But maybe Illinois, yeah. Okay, big. Oh, I know everybody's got Illinois as a top 10 team. You got to be shitting me.
Oh man, I got to give it up to Illinois. Illinois has got my cousin is the backup quarterback, and one of my kids is the quarterback. But Illinois is not. I mean, they're a good football team. They're a good top 20 football team.
Indiana's strength of schedule was 105th in the country. Guys, don't tell me it's the same. Don't tell me it's the same.
Man, that's crazy.
105th in the country.
And what was Oregon's strength of schedule?
It wasn't high either. It wasn't super high either.
Nah, it wasn't.
They played Purdue, Michigan State, Nebraska, Northwestern, Maryland, UCLA,
trash,
Michigan, and Ohio State.
Trash.
They call your team trash. Cause that's what they are. Trash.
Come on, man. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this to you.
Oh man, that's what they are. Trash.
If UST and Nebraska rises again with Michigan, they're looking better than the SEC. If Lincoln Riley all of a sudden learns how to do his job, as be an entire football coach, not just an offensive guy, that's a big if. He couldn't do it with the Heisman Trophy winner, and this year they had a better defense and they won 6 games. Stop it. And they didn't play the hardest schedule either. They didn't have to play Oregon. They didn't even they did play Washington. Ooh. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Maryland. They lost to Michigan. Come on.
Then he gonna have the nerve to make that little damn comment about the SEC. Well, when you found out what was going on, his punk ass ran.
Yeah, no, dude. Oh, I know.
Dude,
Lincoln Riley's so full of shit it runs out his ears. There's no 2 ways around that. There's no 2 ways around that shit. We already know. You already know. I already know. That dude's full of shit. It's running out his ears. It's freaking Lincoln Riley. That dude is soft as baby shit. Come on, man. But you guys shit on Texas' schedule. It can't be. No. Texas got the easy. They got the JV schedule out of the 2 Red River teams. An Oklahoma fan can say it. You look at the schedules for Oklahoma playing Ole Miss, they're playing Mississippi State. Oklahoma's playing Tennessee, they're playing Vandy. Oklahoma's playing South Carolina, they're playing Kentucky. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's just be real about it.
Well, man, I'm going to tell you this, man. I'm going to tell you this before I get ready to get off. It's something that every SEC team need to look at. And I think, when it comes down to, buying the players or getting players or however you want to call it, I think as a whole, I think the SEC is going to be sitting a lot better than a lot of other conferences. And that being said, I think the SEC need to put pressure. The coaches need to put pressure on the commissioners to say, hey, look, we need to fix this schedule.
Oklahoma fans capping for the SEC is dirty work. Y'all got there yesterday. What are you even talking about, bro?
It doesn't make no difference where you come from. It's where you at. So what we supposed to be? So we supposed to be doing? We supposed to be talking about doing things for the Big 12? That's bullshit.
Right, yeah.
So why would you even say something stupid like that? So the person, whoever just said that in the comment, you need to go take your ass to bed.
State fan, bro. It's an Ohio State fan talking. He's feeling this shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hell, I tell you what, go find your ass a new defense coordinator because your ass gonna need one in a couple days.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get you a new one tomorrow. And Ben G.
I'm gonna tell you another thing that might happen. Don't rule this out. Don't rule out Chip Kelly taking his ass to the NFL. So your ass might need a whole you might need an offense and a fucking defense coordinator after a couple days.
It ain't over. Hey, yeah, and they were heavily, aside from Caleb Downs, they're pretty much all seniors this year.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side. Juniors, they had a couple of juniors, mostly seniors that were starting.
Look, dude, that's why I say Knowles is leaving. Because you look at what
dude, they did change it. Look, when the SEC was winning, they did change it. What are we even talking about?
They had to change it because of the teams that were coming in. What stupid butt don't understand that?
They changed the whole thing. They've changed the whole thing for everybody to get an opportunity. I'm not even talking. I was talking about the fact that I think if you even it out, then you find out who the best champion is. You guys are asking, how do you become what's a real championship? This is where it's headed. And nobody was even bad-mouthing the Big Ten until you started piping in about the SEC. Come on now. It's easy to do it 1 year. 1 year in a row is great. Good for you.
Well,
good for you. You better be glad if you're a Michigan fan or a Big Ten fan. Let's just be real. If they would have put the right team in the playoff last year, Georgia, they'd have beat the shit out of all y'all.
And here's the thing. You want to talk about Alabama and you want to talk about Georgia. Out of the Big Ten in the last 20 years, who has won a national championship outside of Ohio State and Michigan?
Nobody.
All right, nobody. I'm through with that.
It doesn't happen.
And how many has Michigan won in the last 20 years?
You know how many? No.
One.
Last year was the first time since the 50s that they, or like 40 years or something like that they won a non-shared title.
Yes. So, I mean, come on, guys.
And this is what the third. Hey, Ohio State's got 3 in the last 30 years. Good for them too.
Right.
Good for them too.
That's the only team.
Yeah.
That's the only team that's done.
They're going to always have talent. No doubt about it. They're going to always have talent too. There's no two ways around it. Ryan's Day issue is he couldn't win against Michigan. Well, now he's got him in Natty. He doesn't even that trumps what Michigan is.
Who cares? Who in
they're
the
not
hell?
Going to stop getting great players, though. They're not going to stop getting great players. And you think they're just going to not go find them the right coach?
Man, let me tell you something.
They will.
Michigan right now, they ought to be feeling real salty right now.
Yeah, they should.
They ought to be feeling real salty right now.
And to go watch them win. But you know, it put a burr in their ass last year for Ohio State to watch Michigan win that thing.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah,
why they
and
went
then
out
it
and spent the
come.
money, and that's the point. You're going to go spend the money. And listen, I think that the Big Ten was smart to limit the amount of exposure that the Big Ten had against each other's teams.
Great
Against the
idea.
best. They were smart about it.
Great.
They were.
It was smart.
Absolutely.
They was a lot smarter than the SEC when it came down to
I
it.
agree with that. There's,
They were a
you
lot
can count
smarter than
as the SEC, you sit there and talk about it a lot, but then whenever you have to, obviously the wins, they doesn't really matter who they come against. They'd rather see you win more games. That's it.
And Jason, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this: they did not do this by design. The SEC didn't do this by design, saying, "Yeah, we're gonna put all our hard teams up against each other to show them we." It kind of felt that way a little bit, but they didn't think about the ramifications of what it was going to do
Here's the
to
thing:
our
have they
teams when
made
it
the
came to the
conference too
playoffs.
tough? Have they made the conference too tough by adding Texas and Oklahoma, who can recruit on the level that they can recruit on, even if you go back to a division situation?
Nah, because I think if you put Oklahoma in, Oklahoma probably be in the West, and no, yeah, Oklahoma probably be in the East, and no, it'll probably be in the West. Regardless, I think it doesn't matter. But if they go ahead on it and split them back up and do the divisions, I think that's going to be a whole lot better. And it's
How?
coming.
How
Either
did
the
they do it,
six
though? How
game,
did they
either
do
the
it?
six game, either the 6 games or the division. One of them is coming back, bro. One of them is coming back
Yeah.
because they got to look at it. We can't be the only people that's talking about that.
True.
That's got to be. That's
Oh,
got
it's
to
not.
be.
No,
That's
we're
got to
not
be
the only
something
people
that's on the
talking about it.
forefront. And
Absolutely.
you, like I say, you take my hat's off to Notre Dame. My hat is off to Ohio State. I think it was a good championship game. I think Notre Dame came out, said, "Hey, look, we're going to assert ourselves." But here comes here come the Buckeyes saying, "No, bro, this is our show." And then, but what I do like to see is how Notre Dame said, "Hey, look, man, you just not gonna bully me around," and they fought back. That's what you want to see. I didn't want to see no damn 45 to damn 7 ball game.
Right.
They came back and made it. But what that tells me is Notre Dame is going to be around, guys. I'm telling you, they got the right formula going for them. They
Yeah.
don't have
Look,
to
I
play a
think,
conference championship. But
absolutely.
so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Jason. So when is somebody gonna say, "Hey, look, I just don't think it's fair. NCAA, you got to do something about this." Do you think that would ever happen?
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't. They
either.
make
But
it's
but that- but I think the boo birds. I think the complaints are gonna come about
they've
them
been
being able
complaining
to
about this
pocket.
shit for they've been complaining about this shit for as long as you and I have been alive, and nobody gives a shit. You know why?
Yeah,
Because they put numbers up. If they
yeah.
can put a Notre Dame into the bracket and whoever they draw in that first game of the year, I mean, they don't have to even give them, they talk them into not ever taking a bye, which worked out
hmm
this year. Something tells me they fix it to where the bye matters because they're not going to get rid of conference championship games, folks. They're just not going to do that. So
But
they're going to fix
here's your
that to
deal.
where a bye actually would matter, and they're never going to get it. So here's the thing. They know that Notre Dame, no matter what, can carry the country in advertising. They're always going, whether you hate them or you love them, you're going to watch the game.
hmm
You're going to watch the game.
Here's the thing, man. I think they're gonna get rid of the automatic bids, and if they go to a ranking system to do it, then there is a possibility of Notre Dame getting one of those. There's a possibility because I don't know what their schedule look like next year, but I can guarantee you what they got coming back and what they're going to do. They'll be right back in the mix next year.
Hey, Chrissy, what is Penn State riding on?
And call your team trash. Because that's what they are, trash.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Win
Yeah, they
something else.
are. They can't win the big one. I
They
mean,
gave them
I love
1%
Jay.
of it because they are their own conference.
Mm-hmm.
They are their own conference. So they got
Yep.
1%, which is 10 million, and then that was a bonus for getting as deep as they did. Believe me, that I promise you, this is not going to change. It's not going to change. They don't give a shit. The Big Ten is going to bitch and complain and bitch and complain and bitch and complain until they and want them to go into a conference, into the Big Ten conference, by the way. But I would tell you this, Notre Dame said it. There's been a lot of people from Notre Dame that have said if they do ever go to a conference, it would probably be the SEC before the Big Ten because they hate the Big Ten. All that stuff with Fielding Yost and all the anti-Catholic bullshit that used to go on back in the day when they wanted to be part of the Big Ten, they haven't forgotten that at Notre Dame.
Well, here's the thing: you got to realize the
Like you're
basketball.
saying, to hell with Notre Dame. They haven't forgotten that shit.
Man, the basketball plays in the ACC, which they would never go to the ACC when it comes to money for football because they will lose their ass, and it's just not going to happen. But you have the basketball. Man, I want to say baseball is in the ACC also. I'm not. I think they are, but
Did you see
and
that their second string could fling it there overrated? Come on, bro. You guys got to watch more than just.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this, Jason. I'm gonna go ahead and get off, and we can pick this up in the morning if you want to.
Yeah, we can.
But guys, hear this. What you just saw tonight is what we have been longing for a long time. Does it need to be fixed a little bit? Everything needs to be twerked a little bit.
True.
But this is what college football is all about to me. I've seen the most parity this year in college football I ever seen in my years of playing since 1989. And this is something that we need. You talk about the guardrails and all that kind of stuff when it comes to paying players or NILs or collective. Yeah, I think some of that stuff is going to iron itself out. But
Right.
I think you're getting the best football that you've gotten in the last 20 years right now with the system that we have. Yeah, we need to. They're going to tweak it, but I guarantee you as a whole, as a college football fan, as a former college football player, as a coach, and as a dad of a collegiate football player, this was the best college playoff I have seen in a long time. Period.
Yep.
To be honest with you. So, like I said, man, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, Jason, man. But we'll definitely pick it up in the morning.
We
Talk
will pick
about
it up
other
in the
few
morning. We
things.
may end up
Yeah,
having something. We may end up having something about Jim Knowles in the morning too. That's
right.
Look, I think that announcement could come any moment now.
Yeah,
And I think
that.
all
I
schools
think it.
are
I
on
think it's gonna be quick. I think it could be. I think it'd be before Friday for sure. It could be tomorrow. You never know. I think he probably got some paperwork to do in that deal. So I want to say Thursday. I'm gonna shoot from the hip on this one. I'm gonna say Thursday. We're gonna know a yeah or nay whether we get Jim Knowles.
I think it's on. I think it's on. I said it this morning. I'll say it again. It's been a done deal. It's been a done deal. I don't think that there's any way that they're still hanging around for this and not
Yeah,
having
me too.
already hired Goodwin or anybody else. I think that just optically you don't do it. But we'll talk more about it
No.
tomorrow. Man, thank you for joining us as always, Marcus. It's always good to
Oh
talk to
yeah,
you, man.
man. Oh yeah.
You already know. We'll get it.
I
We'll
appreciate it,
pick
bro.
it back up
Appreciate
in the
it.
morning. We'll pick it back up well, actually, we don't usually do it on Tuesday mornings. We'll see about it. For sure, we'll be on tomorrow night. If not, but we'll get back.
Man. I got some Gridiron Insight stuff, man, going on. So you want to come on with me tomorrow night, man? We'll do that also, and we'll
Yeah,
pick some of
it'd
this
have to be after
conversation
my
up.
show with Coach. Coach and my
Oh,
unless
yeah, that's right. That's right.
the
I
night
mean,
serve is our coaches and me night. We'll see
yeah,
how
that's
it goes
right.
if he's gonna be able
All
to
right,
come
that's
on.
cool. That's cool. That's cool.
We'll talk about it
Good
tomorrow.
night, knuckleheads.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Good to
All
see
right,
you, guys.
bro.
All right,
I
man.
bet.
Marcus Dent from the Gridiron Insight. Make sure you guys get over there and check him out. It's in the description of my video. Go over there. Make sure that you have hit the like on both of these pages. We got a lot of views in here tonight. I don't know who Let's see. Let's take a look at. Man, we've had quite a few folks in from both streams. Make sure you guys get to both of them. If you're in my stream, the links to Gridiron Insight, make sure you get on JJ's as well. Go in there and check all these guys out and become subscribers to their channel. Hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. Yeah, man, we've had a lot of people in here watching tonight as well. So, guys, enjoyed everything tonight. We'll be back definitely tomorrow. I'll announce it in the morning whether we're going to do a morning show or mute. We may. If not, you'll for sure see me and Coach back on tomorrow night. On Tuesday night, it's always Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach. Hey, man, as like I said, I appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. We've got still 200 and man, we got a bunch of people on Twitter, 260 people watching now. If you folks on Twitter, man, you make a big difference if you pop over at HOF-CFB and at the Gridiron Insight right here on YouTube. Come and hit that like button, man. Help us out as creators. It's the best way that you can help us out. We appreciate everybody for coming in, though. And we'll see you all. Well, let me see here. I thought I had it. On the next one. Maybe.